Hello and welcome to The Point. Tonight we look at two different facets of the 2014 elections. Is the attempt by the BJP and its Ghaziabad candidate General VK Singh to stop the UPA from appointing the next army chief justified or a crude act of politicization? And how does the BJP respond to Praveen Togadia's call to evict Muslims who buy houses in Hindu areas of Bhavnagar? But first, a fresh face in Indian elections that represents the hopes and ambitions of aspiring Indians. Does Nandan Nilekeni have a real chance in Bangalore? And is he cut out for the hard world of Indian politics? And now joining me from Bangalore as he makes that critical transition from a professional to a politician is Nandan Nilekeni himself. Mr. Nilekeni, you've just finished your first campaign. Was it fun? Or was it exhausting hard work?
Oh, it was fun. Obviously, it was physically and emotionally grueling. But I enjoyed it and I learned a great deal from my interactions with lakhs of voters in Bengaluru South.
Well, tell me, what is one thing that stands out as the lesson you've learned?
Well, I think I've become a lot more humbled by the challenges, the fears, the aspirations, the ambitions of our people. And really feel that satisfying them is a huge task, and I really look forward to working on that in the coming 5 years.
Now tell me, was it easy to go up to complete strangers who you've never met before and ask them to vote for you? Or were you at first a little hesitant, and did it also feel a little awkward?
Well, it took me a few days to get into the groove, but I think once I got into the groove, it was fine. I campaigned very hard for 6 weeks. I was campaigning from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day, meeting voters in parks, in eateries, on the streets, doing 10-kilometer padayatras. So I think it was a very good experience for me, and I'm frankly a much more rounded person, and I think much better understanding of the challenges and aspirations of our people.
What would you have said if a somewhat belligerent voter came up to you and said, Nandan Nilekeni, give me one good reason why I should vote for you? What would that one reason have been?
I would tell them that they have had 18 years, 5 terms of an MP who has not performed, and I'm here, I'm honest, I'm hardworking, I'm competent, I'm local. Give me a chance to make a difference.
In other words, you were asking them to give you a chance and to take you on trust, both of them.
No, I came with a track record as one of the co-founders of Infosys under Mr. Murthy. I worked there for close to 30 years, helped build a great company. As the chairman of Aadhaar, 60 crore people were issued an Aadhaar number. And as chairperson of the BATF in Mr. S.M. Krishna's time, we did a lot of work on Bangalore's urban governance issues like toilets and self-assessment schemes for taxes and many other things. So I bring this rich experience from different backgrounds to politics.
You don't just bring great experience, you also bring great wealth. You and your wife together have a fortune of 7,700 crore, which really reads like the evaluation of a major company rather than a normal individual's wealth. Did anyone on the campaign trail ask you about your wealth? Did it become a point of embarrassment at any stage?
Not at all. The fact is that I was fortunate to have this wealth because I was associated as a co-founder of Infosys with Mr. Murthy and others, and it's all legal tax-paid wealth. And actually people appreciate that I've come into politics not to make money, but to make a contribution and to serve the people. So people see me as someone who's coming in to make a difference, who is not going to be corrupted by money, and in fact, the fact that I'm financially well off is an advantage on a campaign where my motives are clear.
Who paid for your campaign? Did you pay for yourself entirely, or did you also rely at least partly on Congress party funds?
No, I paid for the campaign.
Every single penny came out of Nandan Nilekeni's pocket.
That's right.
Now, you're up against a 5-term MP, Anand Kumar, yet after the voting ended on Thursday, you confidently said you were going to win. How can you be so sure of that? A 5-term MP is a pretty difficult opponent to beat.
On the contrary, a 5-term MP who has not performed is a very weak candidate because there's tremendous anti-incumbency against him. And I saw a huge wave of anti-incumbency against the current MP which is why I'm confident that I will win, and all the exit whatever discussions people have had indicate that I will win this election.
Except for the fact that the turnout in South Bangalore was just 55%, 13% below the turnout for Karnataka as a state as a whole. That sort of turnout doesn't suggest that voters are coming to throw an MP out. They may well be there to just reinforce and keep him.
No, I think the way to compare this is two things. One is that it's 8 or 9% more than the turnout last time. So actually there's a much bigger turnout of voters this time compared to last time Lok Sabha. The second is the voter lists often reflect a lot of duplicates and people who have left the city and gone elsewhere. So the denominator in urban lists, especially in Bengaluru, is larger than it should be. So I do believe the turnout was quite healthy.
Now, if you do win, chances are, if the polls are right, you're going to be a member of a parliament dominated by the NDA and the regional parties, where the polls suggest Congress could be less
there's no evidence of that. I mean, I'll wait for the results.
Oh, absolutely. But I'm just saying to you that if you do win, chances are you'll be a member of a parliament dominated by the NDA and the regional parties, where Congress may be reduced to under 100 seats. Is that a prospect you welcome?
No, I don't. What's that?
Is that a prospect you welcome? Or are you a little concerned about the fact that suddenly your party may shrink enormously?
Well, I don't go by opinion polls. They have been proved wrong before in 04 and 09. And I think the Congress will do very well. And I look forward to being a good MP in the Congress party and making a difference to Indian politics.
There are two halves to that answer. I want to take them separately. You say the Congress will do very well. Is that just the brave bluster of a aspiring candidate who simply has to say it because he can't accept the reality? Or do you genuinely believe that Congress will do very well? Because let me tell you, no one else in the country seems to believe that.
Well, I'm telling you by the response that I'm getting. I spent 6 weeks doing a campaign on the ground, and I saw that the Congress has tremendous goodwill, great support, which is why I'm confident that I will win, and I'm sure the same is true elsewhere. So I'm confident overall, and I look forward to serving as a Congress MP and doing well in Parliament.
But when you say you're confident overall, are you really and genuinely anticipating a Congress-led government? I mean, I'm asking you that with incredulity in my voice.
No, you can have any incredulity, Karan, but the fact is that in 2004 and 2009, the opinion polls and the actual results were vastly different. And I see no reason why we cannot expect the same this time.
All right, you have every right to expect the same, but let me put an alternate to you. If you end up as a simple backbench opposition MP with no government role and possibly no national role either, would that satisfy Nandan Nilekeni? Or will you suddenly feel that there's a hollow at the center of your new life?
No, I'm looking forward to this new phase of my life. And I know that I will be effective. I'd like to contribute. I'd like to add value. And there are many ways that an MP can add value. I've already thought of several things I can do. So I look forward. I will definitely be very productive and value adding, whatever be the composition of the next Lok Sabha.
What are these several things you thought of that you can do as an MP? Why don't you spell out one or two in brief for me?
Well, one issue which I am concerned about is urbanization. As you know, I worked in Bengaluru earlier. I've funded a university for urban studies. So I have a lot of interest in urbanization. So I hope to work with urban MPs across all parties to bring a greater focus on urban issues like sanitation, water, and public transportation. So that's one example of an area where I think a lot more focus is required. Another area where I hope to contribute is to political reforms, getting more candidate selection through elections like the Congress party has done in 10 to 15 primaries, inner party democracy, looking at how election funding can be reformed. So I think there are a lot of things one can do if one wants to do it.
Now tell me, all of this is predicated on the assumption you're going to win, and there are many who will hope you do. What happens if Nandan Nilekeni loses? Will you continue in politics, or will you, after a quiet interval, return to business?
No, look, I worked, as you know, in Infosys for close to 30 years. After I finished my Infosys stint, I didn't go back to business. I worked in the government for close to 5 years on the Aadhaar project. Now I see the next phase of my life as being in political life and making a difference, because I think politics is the biggest lever of change in Indian society. And I think if the Indian youth, their aspirations can be met only through huge change in the way we run our country, the way we create jobs, the way we create education. So I expect to play a role in that, and I look forward to playing a role in whatever way in politics, but definitely this is really a mood issue because I'm going to win.
Two quick questions about the politics that stares us all in the first. First of all, how does Nandan Nilekeni respond to Narendra Modi, who the polls at any rate suggest is likely to be the next Prime Minister of India?
Well, I think we need a Prime Minister who is tolerant, a person who treats all communities with equal respect, who is a consensus builder, who has who looks at all communities as one. So I don't see him as such a person.
And very quickly, what about Rahul Gandhi? He's viewed as the big loser this time round. What's your opinion of him?
No, I think he's going to do very well, and I think he's a very good person. He has got good ideas. He wants to reform Indian politics. One of the reasons I'm here is to work with him on reforming Indian politics. I look forward to working with him.
All right, Nandan Nilekeni, you've translated from an ambitious businessman into a loyal congressman without any problem whatsoever. We'll keep our fingers crossed for the 16th. Thank you very much for talking to the point. Praveen Togadia's comment in Bhavnagar on Saturday, attacking Muslims for buying houses in Hindu areas and calling upon Hindus to pressurize and evict them, is deeply embarrassing for the BJP. The party's manifesto claims unity and diversity is the hallmark of India, but quite clearly, Mr. Togadia has undermined its attempt to rise above communal appeals and reach out to Muslims. So how does the BJP respond to this development? With me, its National Executive Member and a former editor of the RSS magazine, The Organizer, Sheshadri Chari. Mr. Chari, on Saturday, the VHP International Working President Praveen Togadia, speaking in Bhavnagar, targeted Muslims for buying properties in Hindu areas and called on Hindus to find ways to put pressure on such Muslim buyers and evict them. As a member of the BJP National Executive, how do you respond to this?
Mr. Praveen Togadia claims that he never said this. But let us believe that he said it.
Just a moment. We don't need to believe he said it. Channels are running video clips of him saying it. Our channel is one of them. It's there for everyone to see and hear. So let's not go down that route of denial. Let me ask you, he's clearly said it. There are no two ways about it, despite him claiming he hasn't. How do you, as a member of the National Executive of the BJP, respond?
No, I'm still saying it. If he has said it, it is absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong, I repeat.
So do you unequivocally, without any hesitation or restraint, criticize and condemn him for this utterance?
Absolutely, I condemn this. If he has said this, it is wrong. He should not have said this. Muslims are equal citizens in this country. They have right to buy property anywhere. On the other hand, I think the ghettoism of Muslim society is, on the other hand, bad for the society.
Let me quote to you what, in fact, Mr. Togadia said as published by the Times of India this morning. The channels say that he was referring to a Muslim allegedly called Asghar Ali, who had bought property in a Hindu area of Bhavnagar, and this is what, in fact, Mr. Togadia is quoted as saying. If he does not relent, go with stones, tires and tomatoes to his office. There is nothing wrong in it. Killers of Rajiv Gandhi have not been hanged. There is nothing to fear and the case will go on. And then he added, I have done it in the past and Muslims have lost both property and money. Quite clearly, he's not only asking Hindus to target Muslims and evict them by force, but he's also admitting he's done this many times in the past. He seems to be a serial offender.
No, it's not that. He has said that in 1984 riots, whatever happened, they have all gone scot-free, which is very true. This is what happens when you delay justice.
I'm asking you a question about Togadia. You're going into the 1984 riots. Are you suggesting that somehow something that happened in 84 justifies and legitimizes what Praveen Togadia has said?
No. No, it cannot. It should not.
Then please don't go
What
back to
happened
84.
in 94 was also equally condemnable.
No, but Mr. Mr.
What
Chari,
happened in
we are not
1984
talking about
is also
84.
condemnable.
Mr. Chari, we are not talking about 84. We are talking about Praveen Togadia in 2014. Please stick to that. I think the audience has a right to hear what the BJP thinks. You are a member of the National Executive. I've just quoted to you what Mr. Togadia, according to the Times of India, said.
You quoted Togadia having quoted 1984.
I have not
So
quoted
I am answering to
1984
that
at all. He was talking about how Rajiv Gandhi's...
Togadia
forgive
said
me.
about 1984.
He was not... No, you misunderstood. He simply said that because Rajiv Gandhi's killers have still not been hanged, any case that is brought against you for forcibly evicting Muslim homeowners will also drag on and you won't suffer. Do you approve of that sentiment? That in other words, the law moves slowly.
He is wrong. He is wrong on that. Many of the perpetrators of the even 2002 riots in Gujarat have been brought to book.
Let's not go to 2002 either. I want you to stick to this subject. It's too important for you to prevaricate and slide out of either one way or the other. This is happening at the same time as just a couple of days ago, your candidate in Nevada, Giriraj Singh, said those who support Modi should go to Pakistan. And today, Mr. Giriraj Singh has said that he stands by what he said 2 days ago. What is happening amongst your supporters and your candidates? Why are they suddenly spewing this sort of anti-Muslim venom?
See, Giriraj Singh is a very different issue. If you have what Giriraj Singh exactly said, if you can replay it, you will realize that there is a slight error in reporting. He did not say Muslims should go to Pakistan. He said there are terrorists in this country who are behaving against this country, who are acting against this country. And it is such people who want to stop Modi.
I'm afraid you are selectively recalling.
That is what he has said.
Forgive me, you are selectively recalling what he said. What he said was those who do not support Modi should go to Pakistan. He was clearly hinting that he were Muslims he was talking about. So are you defending Giriraj Singh? Let's get to the nub of this. Are you suddenly defending Giriraj Singh?
No, I am not defending. I am not defending anybody.
Do you
I am not defending anybody.
Do you criticize Giriraj Singh or do you accept what he said? Which is it? Do you criticize Giriraj or do you accept what he said as legitimate?
If you say, Karan, if you say Giriraj Singh said that all those who oppose Modi should go to Pakistan.
That is what he said.
Exactly, that is not what he said.
I'm afraid it is what he said.
He did not say that. But if you say that is not what he said, but if you say this is what he said, it is wrong.
All right.
Try to understand what I am saying.
I am indeed.
This is not what he said.
But
if you say,
I understand.
If you say that is what he said, it is wrong.
I'm glad you're conceding that point. That is precisely what I'm saying. He said you're conceding that point. The point that concerns me is this.
I repeat, Karan, I repeat, Karan. If you say this is what he said, it is wrong.
All right.
But according to me, I have heard the tape. It is in Hindi. This is only 2 sentences.
All right, I accept.
Therefore, we should go back to what the election commission is going to decide on what.
Let's not quarrel over what Giriraj Singh said. What concerns me at the moment is that both these gentlemen, Mr. Togadia and Giriraj Singh, are speaking at the time when the BJP manifesto is claiming that diversity, that unity in diversity is the hallmark of India, that is a principle to which the BJP is committed. And then your manifesto says you want to preserve the rich culture of India's minority communities. And I put it to you that Praveen Togadia for sure, and very possibly Giriraj Singh as well, have not only contradicted the BJP manifesto, they've embarrassed the party and undermined the party's attempt to appeal to India's minorities and the Muslims in particular. Does that not worry you as a member of the National Executive?
See, it worries me for 2 reasons. One, these are 2 different individuals. One belongs to the BJP and a candidate. He should understand, read what BJP says in its manifesto, and all his utterances should be according to what the manifesto says. As far as Mr. Praveen Togadia is concerned, he is not part of the BJP, but as part of Vishwa Hindu Parishad, if he has said that, it is wrong, because leave alone BJP, even Vishwa Hindu Parishad does not believe in what Togadia is saying.
You are at least being honest in your condemnation and criticism. But what I notice is that your prime ministerial aspirant and candidate, Mr. Modi, is silent. At a time when the country wants a measure of reassurance, he is completely quiet. How do you explain Narendra Modi's silence on Praveen Togadia and that hateful outburst?
See, I don't think Prime Ministerial candidate or Narendra Modi or Lal Krishna Advani or all these leaders are supposed to be reacting to every statement made by every individual in this country during the run-up to the election.
Mr. Chari,
the party has a mechanism.
This is a statement made by the International Working President of the VHP. The VHP is an important part of the Sangh Parivar. Mr. Modi has been a pracharak of the RSS. The connections are so obvious. Surely, moral fiber, leave aside political leadership. Both require that Mr. Modi stand up and sharply criticize and distance himself and his party from Togadia at least. And yet he's silent.
Karan, you introduced me as editor of Organizer, the RSS paper. I have been a pracharak of the RSS. I have also worked in the Vishwa Hindu Parishad. As a responsible member of the RSS, as a responsible member of the BJP, and as a very responsible Hindu, I am telling you, what Praveen Togadia has said is not the view of the BJP, it is not the view of Vishwa Hindu Parishad,
absolutely.
It is not the view of the RSS.
But you are speaking as an individual who is outspoken, and I applaud you for it. But when Mr. Modi, the Prime Minister candidate of the BJP, is silent, people say one of two things. Either he supports quietly what Mr. Togadia has said, or he doesn't want to lose whatever political benefit may accrue to the BJP from Mr. Togadia's outburst. It's one or the other. Otherwise, any Prime Ministerial candidate would rise up in horror and say this is unacceptable.
I don't understand the logic behind what you are saying. If such a statement is made by somebody, however important he may be in the Vishwa Hindu Parishad, please tell me, how is this going to really benefit the BJP? It is going to hurt us.
Just a moment. Polarization of votes, it's widely believed that BJP thinks will benefit it. It's widely believed that Amit Shah has been sent to UP deliberately by Mr. Modi to secure precisely that sort of polarization. No. Given that background, why can't Narendra Modi, who aspires to be a strong leader, a moral leader, say this sort of outburst from a member of the Sangh Parivar is unacceptable? Otherwise, people will say he doesn't want to lose the political benefit that might accrue to the BJP.
Karan, we can discuss some other time about this term Sangh Parivar. There is nothing called Sangh Parivar. That's a different issue. But Vishwa Hindu Parishad is an independent organization. As far as Amit Shah is concerned, he is an excellent grassroots worker. He has been sent to
Amit Shah.
Because
the question was about Modi and Modi's silence. I'm asking you again because we're running out of time. Is Modi, by his silence, in fact suggesting to the country he lacks the moral capacity to criticize his own? After all, what was he saying in his rallies? That he will hang even BJP MPs accused of corruption and crime. Here is a member of the Sangh Parivar making hateful speeches and Modi is silent. Isn't that a contradiction? Give me a quick answer, because this is something that deserves an answer.
The quick answer is, Karan, the quick answer is, we have got a mechanism to reply to all these things. There is a media center, there are people, there are spokespersons. Right. And they have said enough about this.
All right, they've said enough about it. Clearly, you don't want to face up to it fully. You've been personally courageous enough to do so. But Mr. Modi, I have to tell you, at a moment of moral challenge, is ducking it. And many will remember that. And certainly the minorities to whom you are appealing will be deeply, deeply concerned. But I thank you for joining me, and I'm grateful that you were prepared to do so.